What do you do when you have a worn out wooden sign? Don't throw it away.
Let's do a makeover. No. No.
I'm going to use a block of wood. This is just a regular block of wood. I'm going to be adding on some paint layers on top of this. I have this can of paint that someone gave to me. It's an interior eggshell enamel. I am not particular when it comes to free paint. If it's a color I can use, I grab it. So this is the first color I'm going to be adding on today. I'm going to dip some out with a stick. Really thick. Thick paint works really well with this technique. I'm going to dip my block in it so that it's completely covered. Starting at one end, you're just going to put the block down and then drag. So I just want it barely right there. So you're just going to put the block down and drag. So see how it doesn't cover completely. And I probably just didn't have enough on my block, but that's okay. So I'm going to put the block down and then drag. And I'm going to do that across the whole board. That's it. The trick to this technique is letting the paint layers dry before you go and add another layer. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to let this dry. Now the second color I'm putting on is going to be this tropic orange. I used my same cup and I'm just going to peel this paint right out. It's dried paint, quite thin already, straight out of the bottle. Okay. And just drag it across. Yeah, that's perfect. Just like that. I'm gonna let that dry now. This tropic orange ended up looking a little too pink. Dollar Tree orange. It's called vermilion. And I think I just want to try to lighten it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just dip it, just like I've been doing. Love, love, love. Let that dry. The last layer of paint is going to be this beach glass that I'm going to mix very thin with water. Dollar Tree to the rescue. All right, very thin. Okay, that's what I want. I'm going to let it dry. That's what I want. I did decide to paint on a fish with some acrylic paint so that I can try a technique that I'm still mastering. Each layer of acrylic paint has to be sealed in some way before you add the next layer on. And I'm using Mod Podge to seal, and it doesn't really work as intended. The next layer is a thin layer of white, and then dropping the alcohol ink on top doesn't really work the first go around, and you can see the orange is peeking through. So the Mod Podge is not a good idea, and I'm spreading it around even more. The second time I do it, the alcohol ink drops work perfectly. And I should have just stopped right here. But no, I'm a glutton for punishment. I was convinced it was going to work the second time around. But it kind of didn't. I mean, I salvaged it. I'm not going to quit. I ended up making it work, just dabbing it away with newspaper. And that really helped to distress it a little bit. It's not exactly what I intended, but it turned out pretty cool. Once everything was nice and dry, I wanted to add some stencil letters, and I cut these out of an old file folder using my Cricut because I did want something that was kind of rough and, kind of antique-y and weathered looking. So I wanted to mix up some gray paint and started out with my brayer, but don't use a brayer, it does not work. So I had to pull out my little foam dabber and applied the paint that way. It's nice and distressed. That's exactly what I wanted. I wanted the sign to look old and weathered, like it had been sitting out for a while. And I did have to go back and, add a little bit of the detail with a fine brush, just because I missed some, inside letters. But this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted it to look old and crusty. And I did go back and outline the letters some more just so it was a little bit more defined. And this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Fresh caught daily, or caught fresh daily. I add a coat of polyurethane just to seal everything in because I'm using acrylic paint, not outdoor house paint. And boom, there it is, all finished. I'm so excited about this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something new. Please subscribe. Bye.